First, I would like to start with the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire had mainly farmed wheat, barley, carrots, and other necessities, such as those. The Roman people would also breed and care for large livestock, such as cattle, goats, and things such as those. Every Roman had a garden, which had been called a hortus. In the hortus, they would plant items such as root plants, salads slash lettuces, and potted herbs. Hortuses are expected to produce plants all year round, with nettles, asparagus, and mushrooms being the exceptions. The gardens were found near the farmhouse, so the women could garden in between chores. The food production system had been sustainable due to the fact that the Romans had a large population, and with that large population, it was necessary for them to be able to produce the right quantity of produce that they needed to support the life in their so the next thing I want to talk about is the food production system that I had been able to participate in, which had been the grow house type experience in front of the bioscience courtyard. During the time I participated in this experience, I had been able to remove and relocate a certain species of plant and then dig a certain style of planting. That species of plant that I had relocated was mainly yucca plant, and the style of planting or digging that we had done was to make sort of a valley, so when the water would flow, it would go down into the valley so it could water the whole. After we finished that style of digging, we had ended up planting certain herbs that will last year round. The next step would have been to plant pre-annual plants throughout the garden. This would have allowed us to harvest our little crops whenever they were ready. And once the crops were harvested, we could do various things with them. We could take them home or do whatever we wanted with them, basically. That's why this garden was basically created in the first place. There had been a major flaw in the food production system. That flaw had been the water that was readily available for the plants. The reason that this is flawed is that there had not been a watering schedule developed for the year, and there had not been any plan for how we water the plants during the summer. Some people had said that the drip tubes would be enough, yet the majority of us had stated that would be not be enough to sustain our plants. That's why we decided to water them by hand. So the big idea basically is that this system is not sustainable into the future because it is too reliant on us for it to be able to survive, once again, due to it needing to be watered by hand. The next food production system is the current French food production system. The French have many different food production systems, yet the ones that they are most famous for are their cheese production and their wine vineyards. What I will mainly be focusing on is their cheese production system. The French had started to produce cheese due to their abundance of milk producing livestock. The reason why they have large variety of cheese is that France has a large expanse of land, and with that large expanse of land came different recipes for different styles of cheese. The way they make cheese now on a large scale is by either having large plants where the milk they're either cows, goats, or sheep. Just first they squirt milk into a cup to check for quality. Once they do this, they clean the area and begin milking. Once they get the milk, they take it to a steam heated pasteurization tank. Once the milk is pasteurized, they add enzyme cultures. Next, they add rennet diluted in water. Rennet is an extract from calf stomachs. It contains enzymes which curdle milk. Then the milk is allowed to ferment for 18 hours. After the 18 hours, there will be cheese curds in a lot of whey. Next, they place the curds into a cheesecloth bag and drain them for 18 hours. Finally, they add a percentage of salt to preserve it. In some areas, it would be rolled through different seasoning. So the French food production system would be sustainable into the future, mainly because it has been able to sustain itself for so long that it could be able to sustain itself for even further along into the future.